And we will adjourn.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's school board meeting. We're going to start with roll call.
Director Connard,
Present.
Cooney,
Present.
DeBeat,
Present.
LaRue,
Present.
Phillips,
Present.
Schneider,
Present.
and Schur.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. I'll ask you to stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance Thank you. I don't know whose Yahoo notification that was.
That was me.
Oh, all right. We're going to ask you, before we welcome everyone, to bear with us as we're navigating a new agenda system, so hopefully we won't skip around or forget anything. But welcome to visitors and our media representatives. And we'll start with our school board representative report.
Good evening. We are so honored to be here to update you on another busy month at the high school, so we're going to get right into it. First, for athletics, the MHS cross-country team competed at Central DeWitt last Thursday, where Ella Maynard got first place in JV. The cross-country will be running again on Wednesday at Central DeWitt, also at 2 p.m. The football team has their last home football game this Friday versus Davenport Central. The football team will be recognizing teachers for senior night, so that's going to be exciting. And then the football team's official last game of the season is on the 24th. The MHS volleyball teams are competing at Clinton at 5 p.m. on Wednesday and a game on Thursday against Pleasant Valley at home. Girls soccer sign-up is now open, so students can go into the student center and sign up if they're interested in that. The MHS boys swim team has a home meet on the 15th at 8 a.m. and 3:35 p.m. And finally, the varsity boys golf team has a meet tomorrow in Des Moines.
Student council's members attended the Alzheimer's Walk on the 4th and led the Children's Color Run. The Muskie Marching Band had their invite this last weekend, and their last competition is this coming Saturday at both Davenport and Clinton. The first band concert will be tomorrow night at 7 p.m. in the MHS auditorium. The MHS choir concert is a week from today at 7 p.m., and the orchestra concert was last week. The University of Iowa will be visiting MHS on Thursday at 9:30 a.m., and Iowa State University visited today. Parent-teacher conferences are this week all throughout the school districts. There is also an early out on Thursday and no school Friday this week. The sophomores and seniors had the Jostens class during meeting today during the Muscatine and third period. Our average attendance has gone way up in the past month, up to 95%, and our behavioral referrals are down significantly. We recognized 68 students for positive behavior in September, and Key Club is doing their highway trash cleanup just off Cedar on the 20th. Also, MHS has about 28 different concurrent course offerings this year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any questions for our representatives?
I think we should just take a moment to say congratulations to McKenna. I don't think we've had a board meeting since you were became homecoming queen, so congratulations. That's good enough. You didn't wear your crown, though.
No, I didn't. Maybe next time.
Okay.
There we go. All right, we'll move into the Citizen Speaks portion of the agenda. If anyone would like to speak, you'll approach the podium, state your name and your address for the record. You'll have 3 minutes, and according to Iowa law, the board cannot respond. Do we have anyone that would wish to speak? Our board target and goals report. A, students will graduate prepared for post-secondary options. Muscatine schools will utilize resources effectively and equitably, and students will learn in a positive and supportive environment. We have a presentation under this goal on Spark, and presenting to us today will be Lainey Berry, Jacob Shepard, Madison and Austin Smith, and Tony Flack.
So I'm Jacob Shepard, and before we start, I'd like to say that we're honored to be here, and we're honored to be able to participate at Spark. It's a wonderful program. And we really just love doing it for the past 4 consecutive years for almost everybody that's been involved up here.
I'm Madison Smith. I am special education teacher at Jefferson, and I've taught Spark for the past 4 years.
I'm Austin Smith. I also teach at Jefferson. My address is 3009 West Folium Avenue, Muscatine, Iowa.
You guys don't have to state yours, though, just so you know. Sorry, that was a little confusing.
I'm Tony Flack, and I am a teacher at Madison Elementary, and I have taught at Spark for the last 2 summers.
I'm Lainey Berry. I'm the MTSS coordinator for instruction, and I've taught Spark the past 3 years, 4th grade and 5th grade.
All right, so just to get started, the goal of the Muskie Spark program is to give students an opportunity to accelerate their learning through a variety of enriching experiences and activities. And just seeing this with all the students, they love it. All the activities that they get to do, they thoroughly enjoy it. Our teachers enjoy it as well, which is a big part of why Spark is so successful, is making sure that the teachers have that buy-in as well, and the students can really see that. One of the other goals for Spark, for me personally and for some of us up here as well, is to really just to get the students to enjoy the learning process. Yes, they have the whole school year to do that, but then at Spark it's their time to experience different things, to have those field trips that we'll talk about as well. But in Muscatine, it's a very unique and very fortunate situation that we have 300 plus students each year for the last 4 years that want to be involved in Spark. So that just shows how wonderful the program actually is, how the people involved help get it to run well every year. And even the staff members. We have staff members every year that are wanting to volunteer their time in the summer to do this. I know Dr. Steele and Mr. Spees had countless rounds of interviews of just people in the district because it is such a popular position and a great place to be over the summer. So with the research and data, part of the reason for having Spark is to prevent that summer slide. So over the summer, we see students, they have those 2 months off of school where they just kind of slide back in their progression in schooling, especially in reading and math. And that's one of the goals for Spark, is to prevent that summer slide. So we have seen that help with a lot of the schools, with a lot of the grades in 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 5th, and 6th. They've shown less of a summer slide, and some have even shown a pretty good amount of growth. And even just coming back to school, you hear how much the students love going to Spark, and just how much they enjoy being there and really falling in love with the learning process. So Spark is just a great place for them to be at over the summer as well. And then, did you want to hop in?
So you guys see me in different capacity usually with adoptions, and I had the privilege to be part of the programming for academics for Spark 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I can't remember exactly. But then I also have the opportunity to implement that with students in the classroom. So I get to see kind of both sides of the curriculum and then the actual instruction with students in the classroom. And I get to see kids and spend time with kids, so I love that. Our math curriculum is designed to strengthen students' fluency, their number sense, and conceptual understanding, which are always things that teachers say that we need more help with. So we are targeted towards rowing in those areas. We have daily number sense routines, collaborative problem-solving activities, and learning experiences that kids use strategies and then use them to apply. I think Clint visited my classroom when my kids were debating about what strategies were most appropriate for problems. So it's really exciting to see kids using those strategies and taking them over into their classrooms this school year. Our fall benchmark math data did indicate that these targeted learning experiences have helped our students in grades 3 through 5 maintain and build their math skills and reduce that summer learning loss. So that's always encouraging.
So Spark 2025 had 362 students registered, and then out of that, 278 completed the program. In the afternoon, students got to do enrichments and go through rotation of that, which included a lot of hands-on experiences. In the mornings, they did academics in their homerooms, such as math and reading. And then some of the hands-on experiences included art projects, as you can see on the pictures, Lego engineering, Oobleck, which is the kids really loved. It was, we did it outside for obvious reasons, but it was super fun. The kids got to take home a bag of Oobleck. And then we also partnered with the Stanley Center to bring Mama Katumwa in. I got to work with her for the past 4 years, bringing my students down to her. She had such a great time with the kids, kind of explaining the African culture through stories, activities, really just interactive activities that they did with them. They got to make hats. It was a really cool experience. And then for the older grades, we did the cultural experience, where people from different cultures would come in and the students would go around in a rotation to see all the different cultures. They would get to ask questions, kind of obviously play instruments. It was a very great learning experience for that.
So not only does Spark connect our kids on a global level and just allows them to experience many different cultures around the world, it also helps them explore some of the experiences and opportunities that they have in our community. So as you can see, specifically our 5th and 6th graders get to do a Muscatine Community College career pathway course, and that's a part of our enrichment. So they got to go out and see programs like the HVAC program at the community college. They also got to go to the Stanley Center and kind of understand and get to see the behind-the-scenes part of the engineering that goes into that building downtown. They also get to go and program with the MCC Vet Tech program, and MPW, they actually do an activity with drones and some of their technology that they have available there as well. Along with our community, they get to familiarize themselves with the public safety personnel that we have around town. So again, we have some students getting to familiarize themselves with the fire department. They get to try on gear, which was obviously really fun for them, and they enjoy doing stuff like that. It helps them become more comfortable with some people that some students might not have great experiences with, unfortunately. So they get to familiarize themselves and have fun. As you can see, we have police officers coming in to visit as well, and then a field trip to the fire department so kids can see that. And then shifting gears into more of our data. So students, well, we had 175 responses. So it shows mostly positive, and it showed that kids do want to come back to Spark each year. They were asked 4 questions, and those 4 questions included their learning, whether they enjoyed their enrichment classes, and if they got the opportunity, would they come back to Spark? And we had 80% say that they would come back to Spark if given the opportunity. 80% also said that it did help improve their skills in reading, and almost 77% said it improved their skills in math, and 92%, so a majority of students did enjoy that enrichment part, which was a lot of those hands-on experiences that they had in the afternoon.
So continuing on with the student survey comments, we also gave them an opportunity to voice their opinion on kind of what they thought about Spark instead of just a simple question. If you can read some of these comments, I think a lot of them are really good to read, especially the top one where it says, "I love Spark and I really want to come back." But you may also notice that there are some critiques, which is, in my eyes, a very good thing, because that tells me that they're internalizing their experience, they're reflecting back on that, and then they're gonna try to decide, how can this be better for me the next year? So we really do value the critiques that the students have so that we can better fit them for next year if they do decide to come back. I'll give you some more time to read some of those comments. Here are some pictures of our community partners. We've partnered with local and outer partners with having them come in and kind of do fun things with the kids. And I do genuinely feel like this part is kind of what got us that overwhelming feedback of, yes, I really do like my enrichment classes, or I do like some of the activities that we do each day. We have different places that we go to. So some of these photos include the County Conservation, Girl Scouts, MPW, the Art Center, GPC, Miss Betty, and the Musser Library, along with the Master Gardeners. Now, I can speak from experience. I had the Master Gardener in my classroom last year, and I learned along with the kids. There is a lot of information in there that I did not know beforehand that I do know now. And I thought the kids had an absolute blast being able to experience that with each other. And along with student feedback, we also asked the staff for feedback. The staff really like it. It is something that is evolving, and we had mentioned earlier that when Spark started off, it was kind of just like, okay, well, what kind of teachers, want to spend some days during the summer to kind of prevent some of our students sliding back to where they were maybe a couple months, or like where they were before school ended. But it's grown to now Dr. Steele and Mr. Spies have to host interviews and pick some of the candidates, which is a really good sign for staff. Yeah. Overall, I think the staff really do enjoy showing up each summer, and they look forward to it. It gives them something to kind of do during that period of not being in the school.
Thank you. Do we have any questions?
Yeah, first of all, thank you very much. I've been there before when the kids are having a lot of fun, and it makes me want to be a kid again, doing some of that. But if we could go back to, I believe it's the third slide, no, pardon me, yeah, because it says our data shows the students in first, second, third, and then it jumps to fifth and sixth. So what's the difference of what it would have been the fourth graders? There wasn't any demonstrated difference on their reading or something?
It could be a variety of different things that could contribute to that. But I'm sure Dr. Steele or Mr. Spies would have a better answer to that.
I don't know that we can always determine exactly why our fourth graders maybe didn't show as much growth. The truth is, it's, even the growth or the way we look at the FAST data, it's less of a slide than others. It wouldn't be considered significant in any way, but when we'd like to think about it over time. So you think of some of these little ones that have been there year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, and they continue going, and they continue coming through the summer, and they continue growing just as a learner. It's really hard to tell how much Spark has been a part of that, how much just the regular school year has been a part of that. But this particular year, fourth grade just didn't make, as much growth maybe as the others.
Thank you.
And I would add to that, David Svensson works in our technology department, does a lot of our data analysis. And so when they make these statements, it's research-based, statistically significant difference. And so in fourth grade last year, they probably didn't find it. But again, if you took all of those kids, right, across all of those grades, you are going to find a significant difference.
I got to attend this year, and I thought it was a great program. Out of the 362 that registered, is that the capacity, or can we grow that to more, or what is the capacity?
Yeah, so it is a little bit reduced. We did have to reduce a little bit this year, just based on allocated dollars. You know, in the past, we lost some of those funds, ESSER funds and those types of things as a district. However, we did look at increasing class sizes just ever so slightly with the amount of staff that we were able to maintain, so that we could continue to get as many students enrolled as we could. Denny, about that, I think we said we started with 370 some, 360 some, we dropped down. One of the things that we did notice too is that there are some other competing camps and opportunities for students in our community during the summer. And so parents were, you know, they obviously wanted their students to attend both, but they also have some other opportunities that are available to students during the summer. So we continue to look at, when we're holding our Spark over the summer, how do we maximize both the number of students enrolled, right, and the length of time that we can have them there.
And Denny, to that as well, I think that conversation as we looked at kind of this summer in particular, is how do we create a model that's sustainable, right? That, you know, again, we had some other funding that is no longer available, so how do we really make the best of that? We also have a community donor that's provided some additional funds, and we were able to add another section just based on numbers, right? So if it comes in a little bit more, you know, we were able to add that additional section.
Spark is a unique opportunity for kids from other schools to get to know each other, because every single school out of the 6 elementaries was represented, and they came away making friends, like asking for each other's phone numbers and emails, and parents emailing me to ask for their phone numbers. Especially, that's important going into 7th grade at the junior high level. They know people already. They go to school and they're like, hey, there's my summer school people. Also, I think there's opportunities for teachers and staff to get to know kids and to mentor them throughout the years. I've been in touch with one of my students I had several years ago, and we still email, and I still go visit her in school. So I think that mentoring piece is also happening. And I don't think we talked about that, but those 2 pieces are really important too.
Yeah, I would like to say, first of all, thank you also to all of you. I myself get excited to come and visit with Sparks every year. I mean, this is a program that we definitely need to maintain and grow also, or expand on. And back to, you know, some of the statistics that we have. So if 80% of them are saying they will come back, so this should be our base of this 362 students, and then hopefully we grow more and bring more. My quick question here is, can a student be involved from, because I know it's 1st to 6th grade, can they do it every year, all the way to 6th grade, or is there a preference to bringing new students if they already went through Spark for a couple years?
We try to take all the students that register. We do our best to do that. Now, sometimes we have to put them on a waiting list to start, but we've been very fortunate to be able to pull all the kids in that sign up that want to attend. I also want to just take a quick moment. Kim Warren, I know, is here, and she's just fantastic. When you see all these activities in the afternoon, that really is her work and the things that she has done. And every year it just gets a little bit better. And the thing that I think she's just so brilliant in her thinking, a kindergarten, a 1st grader, a 2nd grader, they never do the same thing. It's always something new. So you think of a child that goes kindergarten through 6th grade, and all the experiences, every year it's something different. So I think, you know, you think about how many activities that is. That's really awesome. Thank you so much, Kim, for your leadership.
I'd like to thank everybody. Of course, you always hear positive things about Spark, and it's everybody wants in it. I know you've had a waiting list. Is there any way you say you do get everybody in? Because I'm thinking with these kids that are doing other programs in 84 not completing the program, is there any way that we can say attendance is a priority and being, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like even if there is no waiting list, I know there's lots of kids that want in that don't get in, that don't even sign. I don't know for what reason. But to me, it seems like 80, you know, that's almost a 4th of your kids that aren't finishing. And I understand they have other programs, but maybe this is just off the top of my head. So, but maybe the criteria could be more for kids that don't have those other advantages and going to those other things. And I don't know how you would go about doing that, but you know what I'm saying? Can they make the commitment? Can they make the 4-week commitment to this program? And if not, perhaps we could get kids in that don't have the opportunity to do another, don't have to choose. This would be it.
So initially, Mr. Spees and I, we were very strict about attendance, and we required people to be committed for the entire time. And then we were able to get all the kids in, and we would have parents come in and say, well, you know, my child has this chance to go to this church camp, and we just want to be able to do both, and do we need to not come to Spark at all so that they can do that? Or, you know, my sister's getting married, and we have to travel, and so if we have to miss, do we have to not come at all? And so we got to the place where we felt like we could accommodate all the kids, and if there were, we still say attendance is a priority, but if they come in and they talk with us about whatever it is that they're wanting to do, then we typically are pretty flexible about that, because we'd rather have them come to 3 weeks, or you know, it was longer before. Even if they're going to miss one, we'd still like them to be there for the.
And is there a targeted group that you, or is it it's open to anyone, correct?
It's open to anyone. Our teachers help us encourage kids to sign up. So that happens in that last parent-teacher conference period in March. So teachers are very supportive of the program, and they've done a really nice job too helping us get.
I mean, it's obviously very successful and a great program. I don't mean to say that. I just sometimes feel like you know, where my heart is. So anyway, those kids that don't have those opportunities, maybe we need to shoot more for those. But and then obviously more field trips for the regular school year would be wonderful, because all the kids should benefit from that.
Yeah. And the transportation is critical. Thank you for that. I mean, that they pick up at each of the elementary schools, and so that's a tremendous support to the parents as well, and gets kids there that typically would not be able to get there because they wouldn't have the ride. So we found that to be very helpful for kids that you would be talking about, Kim. And also, just to your point about getting that stuff brought into the school year, Kim works with each grade level now, and I know she just came in and talked with our second grade team about some of the activities that second graders are doing this year. And each grade level, she has it all laid out, experiences that, you know, it's going to be great. We are doing just that.
That was going to be kind of part of my question do the parents get like an agenda, so to speak, this week, or do for this week or that week or anything? So then if they have something else to go to or whatever, they're making at least a, you know, discerned decision as in how they want to do that.
I think that's a fantastic idea. We have not done something like that.
Weekly messaging on press where the teachers are communicating with families.
Just so the parents know, like, what field trip, but as far as just an agenda so they see like throughout the program, that would be a good idea.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for your suggestion.
Well, I have just a quick question also, because, you know, I truly believe that this program is extremely important program that we have as a school district. What do you think we need to do as a board to help you and improve and expand on this program?
So I'm a special education teacher at Jefferson, so I teach students with significant cognitive disabilities in the intellectual disability room. And one thing that I think Spark could kind of improve on is accepting those students who have intellectual disabilities. I know as of now we don't, because of support and having paras and, you know, just kind of that staffing piece. But I think the students that I serve during the school year kind of need it sometimes the most, right? That routine, the structure, the academic. So that was my suggestion.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'd like to say thank you to all that make this happen, because it's such an amazing thing for the kids. I didn't make it there this year. My grandson absolutely loves it. He so much looks forward to going. But this past summer I didn't make it. The summer before I got to see the African culture thing, which was really amazing. But they actually made me dance I couldn't take that chance again.
Did they take a video of that?
There probably is. Ask Tony.
All right, thank you very much.
Before you step out, I just, again, thank you from our staff standpoint, from our administrative standpoint. Kim, you do an amazing job. You know, it is an important program and one we should be really proud of, because this doesn't happen in other communities the way it happens here. I know our community, when they come in to participate, they're just as excited as the kids are, right? And when the model was built to move in this direction, it's because traditionally summer school kids don't want to go, right? And so by allowing all kids to come in, and really, you know, not only is there an academic component, but there's that enrichment piece. And we're doing it kind of full weeks, full days. So when parents aren't also trying to find coverage in the afternoons and those kind of things. So we've seen, again, I've seen kids who, you know, when you ask about these other opportunities, there's kids I know that, like, they cry because they have to go to a doctor's appointment and they want to come because they want to be there. Kids want to be there, right? And that isn't what you typically find in summer programs. And again, that's a credit to the model that they've built and supported and to our staff. So again, something our whole community should be really continue to be proud of. Thank you.
And we'll hand it right back over to Clint for
Right back to me.
superintendent update.
So first, and Lindsay, you mentioned this, we're in that transition to our new software system for our board meetings and for school board members, and that's Simbly. I want to thank Michelle for all your work on getting us, you know, where we're at. She's put a ton of time into this. I think, you know, again, it's a little, I think operation is super easy, the policies that are connected. Again, there's always going to be some things to kind of work through, but it's a really good system that is now, when you go to look for board meetings, that's the landing page, right? So the public will have, you know, be seeing those pieces too. So again, Michelle, thanks for all your work on that, and I think it'll continue to be a really solid program for us from the board and administrative standpoint. Some other things I just want to update you on. I know there's been some pieces in the news recently about a superintendent in Des Moines, and part of that is some of the background checks that were done. And one of the things I just want to communicate to you, the system that we also use E-Verify that digs into those I-9s, that digs into backgrounds much better. We switched about 4 years ago. So again, you should feel very good about the system we use to ensure that we're getting the highest quality candidates possible. So I want to touch on that a little bit. Something positive to share. So not only as we look at our ISAF scores and we look at our state report cards, and we've shared the schools that, you know, we had 5 schools that were kind of under some state improvement goals. Now we're down to 4. Franklin was a school of distinction. They scored, I think, top 20% in the state. So a lot of good things were happening there, and we've talked about those. Just a lot of positive growth over these last several years. Another one that we found out last week, there's also a federal designation for special education for IDEA. And in the past, we were level 3, which is, I don't know, is that the most significant level? And that was for K-6 literacy. So we've been working with the AEA, working with the state, professional development. It ties into the science of reading that we've been doing across the district. And so we found out last week that this year we've moved to level 2. And that's an improvement. So that's something to be really positive about, and it's in a different area. So we were K-6 literacy before, now it's secondary transition. So some of the components under secondary transition, it's the percentage of special education students who become dropouts. It's tracking that, comparing to the kind of the state level. and also the number of, their percentage of special education students who graduate within 5 years. Those are some of the areas that they're looking at, as well as percentage of special education students who are hitting getting concurrent college course type of access while they're in high school. And so there'll be some new work that will happen, new professional development, and we'll get that started. But it's showing growth. It's showing that the work that we've been doing has had a positive impact, and now we'll kind of move into this, this next layer of it. The DDE survey, so typically end of October, so we're looking at October 20th to start sending that out. That'll go to staff, that'll go to families, and that'll go to students. So we're in the process of getting that going. And you know, really by the time we get the survey closed, we dig into that data, we're presenting it to you in January. And it just takes that long to really process through that, because it is a lot of data that we get back through that. But that's moving forward. I want to talk a little bit about, it's not final yet, but you know, October 1st, we get our certified enrollment. So essentially, we've been uploading student information to the state, and it's not closed yet where we have a final number, but what we're seeing so far is, and we know this because you know, we talk about the number of kindergartens coming in compared to the number of students who graduated last year. So if we graduate 330 and we bring in 265, we're already at an imbalance there, right? And so if you go back to a couple of years ago, I think our enrollment was down 151. Is that weighted students, Tom, or just students? Okay, 151. Last year was 107. Right now, this year looks like about 93. So we're kind of still, again, we could have some things fluctuate. We kind of, now we're checking it multiple times a day to see if numbers are moving around, and so we'll, when we finalize that, we'll let you know. But again, some continued positive movement. The number of open enrollments out is down a little bit from where it's been, but also our open enrollments in is down a little bit as well. So we'll look at all those pieces, but you know how that certified enrollment then feeds into funding. And so we'll continue to look at that closely. I know this legislative session, you know, we're hearing there'll be a lot of focus on tax reform up in Des Moines. And so we'll see. I know we've heard some early conversations that there may not be as much state funding for schools this year, but until, you know, people get to Des Moines and start having those conversations, we'll see how that shakes out. What we do know is they've realized increased costs relative to the education savings accounts. We know that at a state level, there's a deficit for Medicaid. We know with some of the changes in how income tax is lowered, which is a good thing, but that there's less revenue generated, right? All of those things, you know, kind of say that, you know, we could be looking at some tighter things here in the next several years. So again, we'll start moving more and more into the budget season as we, you know, it's starting tonight with some really good conversations around our special education deficit. As you'll see later, that has shrunk some. And again, I want a little shout out to Rachel Terry, who has really helped organize some of the Medicaid reimbursements, which has helped to offset some of that deficit. Rachel is a former AEA employee that we hired when things started to get a little shaky at the AEA, and she's been outstanding. So she's done a nice job of helping, because it's a lot of work to coordinate that, making sure the documentation's there, going out to buildings, working with our nursing staff, our secretarial staff, our special education staff. It's making sure that people are entering things appropriately. So just a lot has gone into that, and we're seeing some positive results for that. And then the last thing, you are also going to approve an IASB delegate tonight. So be thinking about who you're going to nominate, and we'll see how that shakes out. In the past, you've approved as a board the legislative platform, and I remember I've given you some recommendations. What they've sent to us this year is that they just want us to discuss it and make sure the delegate is aware of those pieces. So at our next work session, I'll get those in front of you. We'll have some conversations. I would say a lot of the things we've prioritized and talked about in the past will be the same things we'll want to talk about as well. Last week was District PD, Thursday afternoon and Friday, and after every PD session like that, we send out a survey to get feedback from staff on ways that, one, to just, are they getting what they need out of that, that time, and ways we can continue to improve. The survey results that we've received so far have been very positive, and they kind of break it out into like Thursday afternoon session, Friday morning session, and Friday afternoon. And so all three of those sessions are right about 90% or higher in terms of being positive or very positive responses. A lot of comments on the time was valuable, it was engaging, it was informative. But we were also seeing some areas that, you know, to keep in mind and look as we move forward. And one of those is this week is conferences. So as they're doing that professional development, they're also thinking about, I got a lot of stuff to do next week, and do I have enough time to plan and prepare for that? So just things for us to continue to keep in mind as we move forward. But in general, again, really good use of the time last week. Yeah. So with that, any questions for me?
Yes, I'll start it off. This may or may not be the proper time per se, but the fact that we were talking earlier about reading and such, I had a couple of folks talk to me about the concerns that there are still, there's still students that maybe, for example, one in particular was talking about that is in 5th grade, but wasn't sure how that person passed to the 5th grade, considering their reading level was somewhere between a 2nd and 3rd grade reading level. And I know, of course, you know, we had our really downtime because everything with COVID and everything else after that, how that really, you know, messed everybody up of how we're getting folks back to a good reading level. But if someone, for some reason, one of the students gets continued passing on, I guess what I'm thinking is it because it's still within somewhat of a reasonable amount for them to be able to do? Because when does it become a point of time that you would need to think about not allowing them to, you know, pass to another grade? Or what does that mean for maybe some extra help or something to make sure that that student's able to get caught up? Because keep going on from there, it's just going to get harder for them.
So a couple of things on that. One, you know, that's our focus around MTSS, is looking at all of those individual students, where they're at. What are additional interventions that ties into some of our intervention programs and pieces of that CKLA. Also, the law that was passed, I think, was it 2 years ago? So if they're not at grade level by 3rd grade, then there's a plan that we have to work through, and we're progress monitoring them more frequently, and again, providing more of those interventions and supports. Then I think you're seeing then, you know, again, as we've gotten more implemented with CKLA, we're getting better with MTSS, you're seeing more positive, you know, scores on our ISAPS scores. Right. Again, and then there are some kids that like still struggle and may end up on an IEP, and that's a part of the process.
And it may be part of the point is maybe the student was not on an IDP, and that's something that should have been possible for them. I'll check in on that. Thank you.
Any other questions? Move into our consent agenda. The following items are considered to be routine by the Board of Education and will be enacted in one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless the director so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence from the agenda. The items are minutes of the September 8th regular session meeting, bills and claims, employment recommendations, the fiscal year 26 memorandum of understanding between the Muscatine Community School District and Happy Time Childcare, and food service agreement with Domino's. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I so move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign? The first action item is to appoint an Iowa Association of School Boards delegate, as Clint mentioned. We'll choose a delegate and an alternate to serve as this year's Iowa School Board delegate at the meeting on Wednesday, November 19th. If a director would like to make a motion, please do so.
I would like to nominate Karen Cooney, or Director Karen Cooney, to be our, delegate to the Association of School Boards.
Oh, I have to
Do we
accept
have a
that?
second?
Oh, okay.
You don't have to accept it yet. We just need a second
Yeah.
first.
We had this discussion a little
second
bit
that.
beforehand.
All right, Denny's going to
Yeah, so
accept.
yes, I would accept that nomination.
Okay, great. All in favor of Karen being the delegate, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, and we will choose a secondary in the event that she cannot make it, if someone would like to make a motion or nominate themselves to be that secondary.
I'd like to nominate Kim to be.
No one has to second if we need to just let this go.
Do I have to?
We need,
I thought you had to second it.
do you want it to?
I'll do it, yeah.
All right.
But Karen will be fine.
Kim will second. All in favor is Kim as the alternate, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great.
So in other words,
you,
she'll
I
just
guess.
make sure that I go.
We did skip discussion on that one, if anyone noticed. All right.
Okay.
The next item is to approve the change order for the Muscatine Community School District Central Theatrical stage lighting in the amount of $188,000. We'll take a motion in a second. Ken?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that.
All right. Do we want to have any discussion on that?
Yeah, this is just really some of the pieces that we weren't able to do in that original bid. And so this finishes out the stage lighting piece. So a lot of the house lights had already been replaced, and this is more the stage lighting. We have a couple of significant donations in the community that will be covering the cost of this, so we're very fortunate to be able to have that.
So this is, you said it's the stage lighting?
Yeah.
So it's definitely needed, so I'm glad
Yes.
that, I'm glad we got, thank you to the people who donated the money, and we'll get that taken care of, because people I've heard say it's awful hot up there when these old lights.
Yeah, the new lights will be LED, so it'll be completely different.
And I think aside from the lights also, I saw a video about the place right now. It does look amazing.
It looks really good.
And I heard a lot of positive feedback from different community members. So I think once we're done with this place, it will be a great addition to our community, so.
Absolutely.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Our next item, we're seeking a motion to approve authorizing the district's administration to submit a request to the SBRC for a modified supplemental amount of $699,176.89 for negative special education costs for the 24-25 school year.
So-
Anyone? Go ahead.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion or questions?
I'm
Do
just
you wanna
here if
make
you
it?
have
Okay.
questions, otherwise, I think it was pointed out about the significant reduction in our deficit, a lot of that attributable to our increased Medicaid claiming, which, if you're not familiar with that, it's actually just kind of replacing state dollars with federal dollars, and the work that Terry took on to increase that was significant, so.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next is to approve our English learners excess costs for 24-25. So we're asking for a motion to authorize submission of that request to the SBRC for the modified supplemental amount of $429,392.93 due to those excess costs.
So moved.
Second.
Same thing.
Unless you have any questions, but thank you.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Move into our discussion and information section, and Tom's still up here with our financial report.
All right, so tonight we have the August and September deposit balances I'm reporting on our treasurer's report as of September 30th. So September is that first month we started receiving state aid. So you can kind of see that in our balances. Now we do have a negative cash balance in management fund, and that I think I made you aware of that because a majority of our management fund expenditures get expended in July. And so by the end of October here, when we receive our first property tax revenue, that will clear that up as we go into next year then. Same with Fund 36 PEPL, just the timing of some expenditures with when we receive our first property tax statement. So other than those two things, no red flags to bring up. You know, our debt service balance, that is a monthly transfer we have to make from Fund 33 to Fund 40 to pay those principal and interest on those revenue bonds that we sold over the last 2 years. One other thing I'm including here is a graph on comparing our cash balance with unspent authorized budget in our general fund. And I think it's just important to keep that, monitor that as of June 30th to make sure, you know, why do we implement a cash reserve levy? Well, several things. We talked about two of them tonight when with special education and LEP. So we generate the spending authority, but we also have to use our cash reserve to pay for that because we don't get funding for the state from that. So that's what that graph is. It kind of goes back 10 years, and there was a significant difference, you know, 10 years ago, but I think we have that under control now. So, and the last thing I'll report is just, you know, we had those two big reports, the certified annual report, the special education supplement. We also had our annual transportation report, and I just kind of bullet pointed several key things from our transportation annual report. You know, that is one area that increases. We kind of knew that in the beginning, just going into FY 25 25, because we did, you know, increase salary and benefits for bus drivers, and so that was a significant part. And then, you know, lots of things go into our annual report, such as depreciation on buses, and when we buy new buses, that increases depreciation. So that is a reason for our increased cost per pupil, cost per mile in transportation over the last 3 years. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have two policies that we're doing the first reading of today, 211 open meetings and 80405 stock prescription medication supply. Did anybody have any questions on those? I liked all the links, if anybody wants to know.
Yeah, it works really good, and being able to see how any other district that's using Assembly, we can see their policies as well and do some comparison beyond just what the IASB recommends.
And then review of the board policy, administration regulations, and exhibits. Any comments on that? That's surrounding those medication. I highlighted instead of clicked, sorry. All right, next are our announcements and our meetings, upcoming events. October 13th through 16th, Muscatine Community School District Conference Week. The 16th, early out. 17th, Conference Comp Day, no school. October 27th, a work session from 6 p.m., or starting at 6 p.m. here at the Administration Building. October 29th is our SIAC meeting at 4 p.m. November 4th is the General Election Day. So our school board meeting will move a little later, November 17th that month, with our community conversations at 5:30, and then our annual organizational meeting beginning at 6:15. Does anyone else have any announcements? Anything to add?
I would just like to mention that our Muscatine Youth Trap team competed for the first time on October 5th against the Wilton team. The Wilton team, their coaches, they're very gracious. They had lots of awards, very helpful. Our at the next meeting, I think I'll have some pictures and a little video to show of that. But it was a tremendous opportunity. They shot very well. We had probably 10 kids anyway that won a different parts of that event, and it was again, kudos to the Wilton team and coaches, because they were fantastic. We learned a lot.
I'll follow up with that, and a congratulations to you, because you're coaching and leading them, and that's good to have that competition under your belt. So thanks for doing that. All right, I think that's all. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.